So what we're going to be looking at today is that we will look at what 2016 features are available. Now this is a list of items that I think are most important for users to be looking at. There are more features and functionalities that are available at 2016, but today we're going to look at a finite list that I think is important for all users to be seeing. We will demo some of those features today. We'll also be showing you or talking about some features that are still coming, and they should be here in this first quarter within 2016. And then we'll talk about the next steps on how to get to 2016. All right, so what will we be looking at today? So there are 4 main areas that Microsoft was looking into. And so we have service enhancements, reporting enhancements, some features that were on CRM Online but now are on, available with CRM on-premise, and then some integrations that we're looking at. So if we go at the service enhancements, they have added an interactive service hub. They have enhanced the knowledge management area within CRM. If any of you have used or seen Parature before, one of the pieces of Parature was their knowledge base. Now that Parature knowledge base has been incorporated into Dynamics CRM, and we'll see what that means. Some case enhancements that are there just to make it more streamlined, and then the field service product that they added called Field 1 into Dynamics CRM. We'll also be looking at the reporting enhancements, and the 2 main ones there are Word templates and Excel templates. Of all the modifications and changes and enhancements that Microsoft made for CRM 2016, I think the Word templates and the Excel templates will make the people the most excited, and to me are probably in the top 3 for the best enhancements or features that they have now provided in 2016. Going through the different features that current online users are seeing, but on-premise users are not seeing when they upgrade to 2015. New navigation, there's the ability to do theming, how you export Excel from CRM is modified now, and then folder level tracking. Again, these are all features that CRM Online users currently have, but they weren't available for CRM on-premise now until this 2016 release. And then there's 2 integrations that we'll be looking at. We'll look at the CRM app for Outlook, and then we'll just talk about and discuss the OneNote and Delve integration. So we'll jump into the OneNote and Delve integration right now, then we'll start showing you the demo. But OneNote and Delve is going to be similar to how it's being done right now with SharePoint. So, within SharePoint, you can manage your documents. OneNote will also be available, but you can manage your documents in there. And then Delve just gives you an easier way and a more analytical way to manage and maintain and find and search for your documents. All right, let's jump into CRM 2016 for our live demo. So here is CRM 2016. It doesn't look too different if you have on-premise or online. What I am going to show you right here is that this navigation up here, this is something that everyone on CRM Online currently has, but this is something that's going to be new for on-premise users. Is that when I go into my navigation, these areas are the same, but if I click on Sales, look at how they change the navigation. This is such an easier way to navigate, and it makes for a much more user-friendly experience for the users. And so now this is going to be available, this type of navigation is going to be available on-premise for CRM 2016 users. All right, so let's start now going into the focus of what the service enhancements were made. The first thing that we want to look at is what they call the Interactive Service Hub. So this is actually a separate URL outside of your main URL from your CRM environment. Now it comes with your CRM environment. There's no separate license or anything like that, but it is technically a separate area within CRM. So I'm going to click on this other tab to bring up this Interactive Service Hub. This is the dashboard area, and what you're going to see right away is that the dashboards are much more dynamic and provide much more information and have different types of dashboards compared to the out-of-the-box dashboards that you see currently within Dynamics CRM. What you're able to see through here is that now you can get some counts based on some groupings. You can see, right here, the what categories are causing the most issues, so kind of tagging where the issues are occurring. You have your standard graphs and charts and pie charts. Now, you can change the color on all these items also, just like you can through the standard dashboards. You can go through and change it through the XML on this interactive dashboard. Another nice thing is that you have some overall counts. So if you're looking at specific queues, or if you're looking at what tasks you have to do, or maybe emails that you've received, you can have these counts here. And now, again, it's just something that was very hard to use and manage within the current dashboard. So now there's providing a lot more features and functionality. But one of the powerful things about this interactive dashboard is that it can pre-filter on the items that I'm looking at. So let's say I'm looking at my cases and I say, I want to look at my high cases right now. So I click on high cases, and now if you notice, it changes all of my dashboards around here and my list of active cases to only show the high. So now with these being interactive, they're smart and they refresh all the data based on what you're looking at so that you can fine-tune and drill into exactly what you're looking for. I'm just going to clear out that filter. I can also change it by, timing and calendar. So right now I'm just looking at this month, but if I want to see everything that's happening this week, again, it dynamically changes everything based on what my filter criteria that I put in here. So I'm going to go back to this month. Another item over here is that we have the cases. So this is just like your case list that's in regular CRM. I can click on here and now it gives me the same ability to resolve a case or cancel a case or do other things, apply routing rule or reassign it or maybe add it to a specific queue. So this allows me to do exactly what the taskbar did before. Another area that is unique to this interactive dashboard is now it has what they call interactive forms. So when I clicked on that case form, it actually brought up something that looks similar to the other case, but this is really a new form just for this interactive dashboard. So now I can make a really nice interactive experience for any agents or reps that need to use the customer service area or the service area of Dynamics CRM, and this just gives me more functions, features and functionality. Now, I'm going to go back to the dashboard. Now again, this dashboard area that we're just talking about through here is only available currently in this interactive dashboard, but we are hoping that, or this interactive service hub, I apologize, but we're hoping that some of these modifications will, get put into the majority of the CRM dashboards. But right now, this is only available through this interactive hub. All right. Also, I just want to let you know that all the cases that are listed here, so notice this is one issue with upgrade. When I go to my regular case list, it's the same cases. So it's not like it's managing in a separate system. It is using all CRM data. It's just giving you a different tool to manage the interface. All right, so let's jump into one of the other areas that got enhanced within the service area. So I'm going to open up the case. When I open up this case, you're going to notice that the case form has not changed. The out-of-the-box case form has not changed, based on 2016. Very similar. The one thing that has changed is that it actually added some more items up to the taskbar now. So now you just have some more options that you can see instead of having to click the more options here. But what I want to focus on right now is this knowledge base article over here. This knowledge base is, like I mentioned before, similar to what you had with Parature before, but now this is an out-of-the-box functionality with CRM 2016. And one of the nicest things that you have with this, so one of the first things is that I could pick what do I want to automatically try to search my knowledge base on. I just did the case title, so because I had the word upgrade in my case title, it automatically found this article for me. Now again, you can search whatever you want in here, but you can also default it to search based on fields that you enter within CRM, so you can do some of that smart searching. What this view gives me right now is that it lets me see what the verbiage is based on that article, but what's even nicer is I can pop this out and look at this now. Now we can put diagrams, we can put pictures, we can put whatever we want in our articles compared to before when you use the CRM knowledge base editor, all you had the ability to do was text and then headings. So this gives you a lot more features and functionality. You can copy and paste Word documents into here. You can link to images like you can see here. I can add some more verbiage on here while linking to an image. So there's just a lot of feature and functionality that you can have now within this KB article that makes it just more dynamic. Another nice feature, and again, this is similar to how the out-of-the-box KB article works, but I like to show this because now I can say, email this, and instead of doing an attachment, it puts it right in the body of the email. Now I can send this out. I can add some of my own information here, and now this allows me to be very dynamic in how I can share these knowledge articles with who I'm working with for my cases. Another option. So right now I set an option saying that I do not have a portal or a service portal that I want to link to for this knowledge. If you do have a service portal, you can link the knowledge to that service portal, and then instead of having it just the knowledge base article just be attached to the email, it can actually link them to that portal. So now that they can just do, they can see that knowledge base article, but then it also gives them access to your portal. So hopefully they can use that for additional features and functionality. All right. So then the last piece I want to show you from within the case is that I just mentioned that they added some enhancements. So one thing that they added in 2015 was the ability to route cases, and you can have different ways to route them. But the problem was that you always had to go through here and kind of save your stuff and then click on here to route and then select where it is. Well, now they kind of give you a more streamlined way to route cases. So from right here, I can just save and route. And then what this allows me to do is that I can pick a route that I want to go. And now if I have multiple ones, I can select which route I want this to go down, but just gives a little bit more streamlined process to save and route compared to do a few more clicks. All right, the last piece I want to demo right now is around the field services product that they put into Dynamics CRM. So if you haven't heard, is that Microsoft purchased a company in the summer of 2015 called Field One. Now, Field One created an enterprise field services management application that resided 100% in Dynamics CRM. Well, once Microsoft bought that, it already sits in CRM. So now what they give you the capability is, if you have a professional license, you are able to turn on this Field One product. So if I go up here and see Field One Sky, I'm just going to click on this, and you can kind of see what the different areas are within Field One Sky. But the biggest thing is that you're managing your work orders, and then you have your schedules. And now you can work through your inventory and your purchasing and just manage all of your resources. So one of the things I want to show you that's pretty nice to see within this Field One Sky product is what they call the schedule board. So I'm going to open up this schedule board, and what you can see right here is that now from here I can see all of my resources that I have, and your resources can be users, your resources can be trucks, your resources can be equipment. It can be a lot of different items that you set up within your configuration. What this is showing me here is that what are my people working on, or what are they scheduled to work on? And also there's color coding here to help me, as a dispatcher, understand what are they doing, where they are. And so if I look right here, this one's in progress. If I look at this red one, this means that they're in a break. If I look at this, I'm going to call it purple, means that they're traveling to the location. And so we have these different color coding that we can have. Green means they completed. Red means that they canceled, and you can configure this to be different colors. We can configure this to be different, how this looks, what details are being shown here. So all this is configurable. The other nice thing is that, I have this nice little map view right here, so I can kind of see, and everyone has a little different pin, so I can see who's assigned to what item. So if I just hover over some of these pins, it tells me that yellow is David Clark, and and then the gray pins right here are the excuse me, are the services that are still unscheduled. So I see that Julio is here and there's 2 right next to it. So now from here I could just schedule Julio to look at these 2 items since I know that they're close by. Here's a list of all my unscheduled work orders. I can scroll through all these items and see which one they are. But the nice thing is if I click on one, so if I click on this 34, it actually brings it up in the map where it's located. But more importantly, what's the nice thing is that it gives me the scheduling assistant. Let me click on this scheduling assistant. Just kind of show you some features that are within the field 1 configuration. So now, again, it just is asking for, who's in the 2-hour rotation, or sorry, who has 2 hours available, I should say. They're within our 80-mile radius of this, of this account. You can put some dates in there. Look at this. You can have skills. If you have specific skills that a work order needs, so this one needs AR12 certification. If you have different skills or maybe different materials or different items that people need, you can do all that. So now it will search for all that information. When I say search for resources, it'll just use what you chose over here, what is required, and it will find the people that are available. So Josh Smith and Ian are available for this based on the criteria I set over here. Even more powerful than that is that, once your dispatchers get used to who these accounts are and who's working and what skills they have, sometimes they might not even need that auto scheduler. And so I just see that, if I'm looking down here, Chris has some time in the morning to work on something. So I can just take this, drag, and drop it onto the schedule board. And now when this gets refreshed, it will automatically schedule this for Chris during that time. And now Chris, with being a field agent, he can receive a text, he can receive an email, he can receive a phone call that can tell him about this, but also the nicest thing is that they have a mobile app for all the mobile devices and for phones, so that they can go in here and see what schedule they have. They can see where it's located, do click to directions so they can get turn-by-turn directions. They can also see all the equipment log, what equipment they use, what resources they use, what expenses they've had. They can get the signature done right there. So it gives you a really robust experience from both a dispatcher and a field tech's experience. So I do want to say is that this tool is available to you as long as you have professional CRM licenses. For CRM Online currently, they are currently working on on-premise version. I haven't had an update recently that it's completed yet, but I know that they are working through that. But it is available currently right now for CRM Online. But one thing I do want to say as a watch out is that this may look really nice, but there is a lot of planning, a lot of design, and then after that a lot of configuration to make this to flow and to work the way that you want it to flow and work. So just because it's available, it's not just a turn on and all of a sudden you're doing field service mobily and dispatching within a day. It's going to take some time and planning, but it is a really nice feature to have within CRM, especially to enhance kind of your service area if you do have field reps that you want to manage. All right, so that concludes the service side of it. So now I want to go into the reporting enhancements. And like I mentioned before, is that I feel that this is a really important enhancement that they made within CRM. So let me just show you some examples that they have currently of what these templates can provide. So I'm going to go through here. I'm in my active cases, and I'm going to select one of these active cases. And I'm going to go up here and go to Excel templates, and I'm going to go to a case summary template, and I'm going to open it up in Excel Online. I know I clicked that pretty quickly, but there was another option to actually just download this. So you could actually, if you don't have CRM Online Excel Online, or you don't want to use Excel Online, you can just download it to Excel. But what you get here is, if you notice, this looks exactly the same as what you had before. Is that, okay, you have your nice little list of data that you could get before. But look at what is above here. Look at these charts. You could not do this before. Before you'd have to export out all the data and then create your own charts and copy and paste it in, or do some workarounds to get to how you want the data to look and display within Excel. Well, now you can create these templates right from right from CRM and bring it up, and anyone can bring these up that has CRM licenses, or they can export these directly out of CRM and then provide them or send them to anybody else that doesn't have a CRM license. All right, so now I'm going to go back to CRM, and I'm going to show you what a Word template looks like. Now, for this example, the Word template is not the greatest. It's not the best example, but it can at least show you what is capable of doing within this templates. So I'm going to go to Word here, and then it asks me to open it up the Word. So this one doesn't do Word Online. It actually just downloads it right away, and I will drag that into my window pane here. I'm going to enable the editing, and now again, this is a very, very simple example of what a Word template can do. But what can be very beneficial that we've seen that Word templates can be used for now are creating quotes. So now your quote templates can all be done through these Word templates. If you have contracts, and it's not limited to certain entities. This can be done on any entity. So if you have an account summary, or maybe you have some account information that you want to display or send to customers in a nice format, you can create this Word, you can create a Word template and then run it, and then anyone can run this. So what we see this replacing a lot of are custom SSRS reports. And so what this allows us to do is that right now we recommend doing a report or an SSRS report for like quoting and things like that that are more, more than just lists of data. Now with this, we feel that 60 to 70% of those reports can be done through either a Word or Excel template, and maybe only the complex ones that have a lot of logic or are really complicated are still needed to be done through SSRS, but this gives the users the power to build their own reports and make nice looking reports. So let's do this. Let's just quickly go in to see how we can build these templates. And this is just a very, very quick overview. You can contact us or talk with us if you have any more questions around this, because I do believe this is one of the top new features and benefits of CRM 2016. But let's go into here where it says Word templates, and I'm going to say create a Word template. So notice anyone can do this. Now we'll just see what this all entails, so we can see who we would recommend doing this compared to not doing it, but anyone has the capability to if they want to. So now I pick if I want Excel or Word. I can say what is my primary entity that I want to be using. Right now, of course, I'm on the case, so it can be the case, but look, it's available for anything that you have in CRM. So I'm going to keep the case, and I'm going to say, okay, select entity. So now I selected the case entity. Now look at what I have the option to. This is something that we don't have any options to do out inside of CRM currently. This right here beats what the report wizard provides us. So now we can pick our one-to-many relationships, our many-to-one relationships, and our many-to-many relationships. So this is just a very powerful tool already, better than what we currently have, just by allowing us to pick what relationships we want against the entity. And so what this means right now is that, let's say you have a quote. So you have your quote header and you have your quote details. Your quote details, you could have many quote details on your quote header. Now you could say that your primary entity would be quote, and then your many relationship would be all of your quote details. So this now allows you to build those nice, one-to-many reports or items that maybe an account and maybe all the opportunities that are associated to that account. So you can have these relationships and now you can report off of them. So I'm just going to pick, 2 of these relationships and say download template. I'm going to open this template, and of course it opens it in my other window. I'll drag that over. Enable editing. So one thing that I will say, you may need to Google this or just ask us, but you need to have this developer tab exposed, and that it's not exposed by default. So there's just some settings in Word to expose this developer tab. Once you have that developer tab exposed, I can just click on XML Mapping pane. What this is telling me now is that what do I want to map to? So I'm going to select CRM. And now if you notice, here's incident. So I picked case. And now here's all the information, all the fields that I have that are related to the case. And down here are those many relationships that I selected. So one was against activities and one was against contacts. So now again, it just gives me that capability to do both my header and all my details if that's the type of report that I'm looking at creating. So one word of caution right now is that unfortunately this version does not use the display name of the fields. So this is actually the name of the field, like a better term, the name of the field in the database. So there might be some discrepancies based on what the display name is and the name of the field in the database. So this is where maybe an admin could help you or maybe limit, recommend that only admins create these templates. But, hopefully the names match closely, that you haven't changed the display name too differently compared to what the actual name is within your, of the database. But if we just look through here, you got the same fields available just like you do when you're doing an advanced find. And I have new fields on here, so fields that I have added in here, like new incident type. So it gives me that capability to pretty much link any field or related entity in my report. Now, this visualize, again, because I'm doing this really quickly, this visualize, you could copy and paste any type of report format in here. You could start with your own quote format in here. And then what you do is you start adding fields. And how to add a field, so I'm going to say an owner's name, and then it inserts it, and now I can select what it is. I'm going to say plain text. So now here's the owner's name will be displayed there. If I had another area that I'd be looking into, I could maybe when was it modified on? So I'm going to add this. I'm going to add this into there as a field name. And I'm clicking too fast right now, but you get the idea. You can just add the fields into the template wherever you need to, wherever you need the fields to be displayed. So it's going to take a little time to build the templates out. So not everyone may utilize this, but I think just from not needing a developer to create an SSRS report, this is a very powerful and beneficial tool and enhancement that they added into CRM. All right, so now I'm going to go back into my CRM here. And those are the different areas that I want to talk through and show you within CRM. So I'm actually going to go back into my PowerPoint presentation right now. And let's go and look at what the Outlook app provides us. So this is a newer feature where it can be used against any desktop computers or laptops that are running Outlook 2013 or 2016. The Outlook web, and then any Windows phone, Apple iPhone, or Android phone. So this is not a true replacement for your current Outlook, desktop plugin. But what I would say is that you could replace it for your Outlook 2013 or 2016 users. But I would say that I would recommend still using your plugin, but where this comes into benefit is that for Outlook Web or your app or your mobile phone apps. So I think this just gives you a lot more power and control and flexibility to use any of the media that you normally use now for your emailing, meaning Outlook Web Access or your mobile device, and now you can track this data into CRM so you don't have to do two steps where maybe you reply on your mobile device and you have to log in on your desktop and go into your Outlook and go back and track that at a later time or date. So now this just gives you more flexibility that how you normally interact with your customers through, through Outlook, through any of these ways, either through, mobile, web, or even your desktop still, it gives you the ability to track. Now this Outlook app only tracks the emails. So if you're coming back and trying to track appointments and things like that, that's where you still have to use that plugin. But this is really just based right now on the email tracking. Here's a display of what it looks like, so I can have my email box, and this is Outlook Web Access. So I can look at my emails here, and then I can click Track on here. Now I can pick any of the entities that you can currently with your current plugin for Outlook. The nice thing is that once you select what you're tracking against, it does actually display some additional information about that entity. So now you can get a quick look or quick view on what it is. You don't have to open up CRM, and it can actually give you what some of the related objects are or related entities. So let's say if you're doing an account, it can show the opportunities that are on that account, or maybe the cases that are on that account, or maybe open or active activities that are on that account. So again, it just gives you that nice capability that you're in your device, you're doing your email, you're tracking, and now you can see some additional information if you need to based on the CRM object that you tracked it against it. Some prerequisites to set this up is that this is turned on at a user level, so each user has to kind of meet some requirements that they go through and what the requirements are, and you have to turn it on at a user level basis to get it to work. You need to have server-side synchronization running for this. And then you may need to, for the first time, when you're using, let's say, Outlook Web, or you're using your mobile device, you may have to turn on that feature that first time in order to utilize it moving forward. So there's a little bit of configuration and some requirements on how to use this, but I think once it's up and running, it just gives your users a lot more capability than they currently have to use the devices they want to use when they're using them to still track and do that powerful, setting emails against objects or emails against entities within your CRM environment. All right, so that was a quick overview on some of the what I consider some of the top enhancements or top abilities of CRM 2016. But now let's look at some of the things that are coming down the pipe soon. So back when they were doing the release in fall, they mentioned some other things that 2016 will have. They went live, and some of these things are still in what they call preview mode, so you can look at them, but they're not fully supported yet, or they're doing a smaller beta testing with it with specific clients or customers, just to work out any kinks that still may be in it. But these should be coming soon, hopefully within this first quarter of 2016. So one of the ones that I think is really important is voice of the customer. So this is a survey area. This is a really nice feature. If you have any questions on what this entails, you can ask us. We can give you some visualizations on how the surveys look. It's a really nice look and feel for the surveys, but this just isn't customer service. So of course you can do surveys after you close a case or an incident, but you can also do a survey when you close a project. You could also do a survey when you're qualifying a lead. How did it work working with our inside sales team being transitioned to our outside sales team? Anything that you want to get feedback for, any type of entity that you're collecting data against in CRM, you can do a survey against. External party access. This is more along the lines of, I'm going to say kind of portal access, but what it's doing is it's giving you a user license to use your CRM instance as a portal compared to configuring a separate one. Now, this is still more details going around this on how this is going to be set up and what the licensing costs are, but this is something that's coming down there, and then you can configure these users to have specific access to only the items they need to see within CRM and maybe even how their experience is. So this is something that's interesting to keep monitoring on how this is, how they're going to be managing these external parties. Then we have service intelligence and sales information discovery, and I'm going to kind of group it into kind of the Azure machine learning. So again, it's just giving you more capabilities, more searching, more smart searching to be able to find documents, find articles, find information that you need that relate to it, so you're not searching in 4 or 5 different things. So it just gives you that ability to be much smarter and hopefully provide you some smarter analytics to be looking at. For the mobile platform, the tablets currently have offline mode. They talked about in 2016 providing the mobile devices with offline mode. That's not currently available yet, but it is coming. And then this next area is just for CRM Online. So this is control and visibility. The biggest thing here that I think is nice is the data performance dashboard. This is going to tell you some statistics about your CRM Online environment. Are you having issues? Are you having delays? What forms are taking longer to come up compared to other ones? What is the average time of these forms coming up? So you can really just understand what kind of experience your users are having, and hopefully be able to use that to, manage and change and modify and try to enhance just the performance of the system for the users. The other one that I think is going to be nice is the guided user experience. Again, this is just helping you try to get better user adoption. So giving you better flows, giving you more custom ways to really document your process and help them go through that and kind of like click here, do this. If you're trying to qualify a lead, what should they be doing? When should they be clicking on qualifying a lead? You can kind of script that and have that run through so that, again, it just helps with user adoption on your system. All right, so those are all the features that we covered with 2016. So then the next question is that how do I get to 2016? If you are new to CRM, if you currently do not utilize CRM and you go to CRM Online and you just spin up a trial, all trials, all new customers, this point moving forward are on CRM 2016. So if you go right now after this call and spin up a trial, it will be CRM 2016 and all the features that we just talked about will be available to you. Also, the 2016 server install is now available that you can download, and if you have the environment too, you can install CRM 2016 in your environment. And again, you can talk to us on how to do that, but that is available to you. For existing CRM users, CRM Online, if you're new to CRM Online and you're on 2015, you haven't gone through this process, but anyone that's been on any of the upgrades currently for CRM Online, the experience is going to be exactly the same as what you had before. So Microsoft will rolling out some dates that they're going to be planning to upgrade your environment soon. Once you get that, you're able to schedule, reschedule it. You're able to pick your timing, and then you start getting the alerts. You get a 90, a 30, a 15, and a 7-day reminder. Also, if you have test or development environments outside of your production CRM Online environment, you are able to upgrade your, your test and development environments first, make sure everything is working properly, and then you can schedule your production environment to get upgraded. For CRM on-premise, just like any other upgrade, you need to make sure that you go through the specific versions to get to the current version. So my example is, let's say you're on CRM 2011 right now and you want to get to 2016, you have to go through this progression of upgrading to 2013 and then upgrading to 2015 and then finally upgrading to 2016. So just going directly to 2016 from an existing version does not work unless your version is 2015 right now for on-premise users. Now, one thing that we get asked on is that what breaks between 2015 and 2016? We have not found anything yet. So we are in the process of doing this. Again, this is a new release. We've been doing some testing. We did some beta testing. We have not found anything, but please keep looking back and we will try to communicate with you, or if you have any questions, give us a call, let us know, and then we can help you plan for your upgrade. So that concludes what we're talking about right now. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Like I mentioned before, we're more than happy to talk with you about this upgrade and all the many features and functionality, or just about CRM in general. At this time, I'm going to transfer it back to Chad.
Thanks a lot, Tom. It's a lot of great information, and I know everybody's just kind of itching to get their hands on CRM 2016. So thank you very much for attending, everyone. Again, you'll be receiving an email shortly with this information. Make it a great day. Thank you.